This is Mark Gunn Media.
Hit it!
Welcome to Gunshots Straight from the Hip. I'm your host, Mark Gunn. The views expressed on this program are those of the host and guests and not necessarily reflective of anyone or any entity associated with this broadcast. This episode is brought to you by the Mental Health Coalition and the Black Health Alliance.
As we wrap up this year and head into the next, we invite you to give a big you to 2020.
But not just any you, a you for a cause. Let's start with a giant you COVID-19.
You for taking my job. Sorry. Furloughing my job.
Furloughing? You.
You for closing his school.
Yeah, you.
You for canceling our wedding.
You to the toilet paper hoarders.
You to all the people in 2020 who said all lives matter.
All lives will matter when Black lives matter.
You, Derek Chauvin.
And a double you to the killers of Breonna Taylor.
Arrest those. Speaking of murderers, murder hornets.
Murder what?
Murder hornets.
That's a thing?
I've had it with these on this
computer. You New Zealand, you think you're better than us? But you are. You anyway.
I don't care who you voted for. This guy.
You, Karen.
You, Karen.
You, Karen.
2020.
You.
You for taking RBG.
And Kobe. And John Lewis.
You for taking my grandmother. 2020.
This message brought to you by the Mental Health Coalition and the Black Health Alliance. Log on to mentalhealthcoalition.org and blackhealthalliance.ca for more details. The Gunshot Straight from the Hip Year in Review. To say that 2020 will go down in history as one of the worst history is a severe understatement. And it actually all started back in November of 2019 when a walking sack of crap was elected president of the United States. This would not end well. We're going to take a look at the year that was. Not a whole lot of positives out of it, but just a reminder as to where we could end up again if mouth-breathing knuckle-draggers are allowed to vote. I mean, not that you can keep them from doing it, but hey. Let's start with January. Right around January 13th, we were introduced to a virus that would become the start of the deadliest pandemic in American history.
The first case of the deadly Chinese coronavirus making its way to the U.S., a Washington state man testing positive for the deadly virus. According to the CDC, the man in his 30s flew home to Seattle last Wednesday, infected but not yet symptomatic. According to officials, shortly after arriving in Seattle, he began feeling ill and reached out to his healthcare provider on Sunday. 24 hours later, his diagnosis was confirmed by the CDC. The man entering the country before federal health officials began screening travelers from the city of Wuhan, one of the busiest transportation hubs in central China, and where the outbreak began.
Patricia Dowd of San Jose was 57, in good health, and then in early February, she was the first known COVID-19 fatality in the United States.
This mom has just been named victim number 1. Patricia Dowd was the first American to die from COVID-19 on February 6th.
The 57-year-old tech executive thought she was suffering from a routine flu. She was working from home in Santa Clara, California, when her daughter found her dead. It was initially ruled a heart attack, but only now, following an autopsy, are doctors discovering that she was, in fact, the nation's first COVID-19 fatality.
So now we're dealing with the COVID-19 virus and well over 300,000 deaths, and the hits just keep on coming. Also in January, in a fiery helicopter crash, we lost one of the greatest basketball players of all time, Kobe Bryant, and his 13-year-old daughter, Gianna.
Good evening. Welcome to ESPN SportsCenter. Zuba Mahenti. I'm Michael Lees. Breaking news in this Sunday afternoon. 5-time NBA champion, former league MVP Kobe Bryant died earlier this afternoon in Los Angeles in a helicopter crash. News reports are just coming in among multiple victims. Kobe Bryant on that helicopter.
There's been maybe one or two other times when the world simply stopped.
God bless his soul and his daughter and everyone who was on that helicopter, man. It just make you think about people in the world. And man, we love him.
Let's honor Kobe, Gianna, and the other lives that were lost yesterday by following his example. Love your family, love your teammates, and outwork everyone else in the gym.
As the world continued to grieve Kobe's loss, arguments about wearing masks or not wearing masks popped up all over the country. Never mind that the leading disease expert, Dr. Anthony Fauci, preached the value of wearing the masks.
There should be universal wearing of masks. There should be, to the extent possible, social distancing, avoiding crowds. Outdoors always better than indoors, and be in a situation where you continually have the capability of washing your hands and cleaning up with sanitizers. I feel that universal wearing of masks is one of 5 or 6 things that are very important in preventing the upsurge of infection and in turning around the infections that we are seeing surging.
You had people that simply refused to wear them for the most ridiculous of reasons.
We will get together and do a citizen's arrest on every single human being that goes against the freedom of choice. Every single one of you have a smirk behind that little mask, but every single one of you are going to get punished by God. You cannot escape God.
Much of our communication is nonverbal, which includes facial expressions, gestures displayed, and the physical distance between the communicators. How will young children be able to know who the dangerous deviants are, like pedophiles and people in the human sex trafficking?
You did not listen to we the people.
I haven't worn a mask yet. I'm not wearing it today. Besides, despite what you guys do up here today, I'm not wearing one tomorrow. I was born free. I will stay free. My rights come from God, not from you. I'm not wearing it. You're going to have to hold me down and put it on me.
I don't wear a mask for the same reason I don't wear underwear. Things gotta breathe.
Now, you know these mouth-breathing, knuckle-dragging idiots are taking their cues from the head idiot in charge, the soon-to-be-evicted tenant of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
You know, a lot of people think that goes away in April with the heat.
You said it was going to go away in April. You said when it warmed up in April.
I said it's going away, and it is going away. You're going to lose a number of people to the flu, but you're going to lose more people by putting a country into a massive recession.
A few weeks ago, you say this was just like a flu. What have you learned?
I didn't say 2 weeks ago it was a flu. You know what I say? If they don't treat you right, I don't call.
If they don't treat you right,
But I didn't say
don't
that.
call. These are direct quotes, sir.
Are you saying that the administration is requiring these industries to create these products, or just asking?
You know, so far we haven't had to.
You just said that you haven't had to require companies to up their production of medical supplies. But you said last night you invoked the DPA.
I don't believe you need 40,000 or 30,000 ventilators.
You said New York might not need 30,000. You said it on Sean Hannity's Fox News. You said
You know,
that
why don't you people act? Let me ask you.
You said
why
some
don't you act? Why don't you act in a little more positive? It's always trying to get you.
2020 also marked another year in which black bodies were unsafe in any spaces. 3 high-profile murders of black people saw America come to a racial reckoning. The first, Ahmaud Arbery.
On social media, the video is hard to escape. Ahmaud Arbery's family attorney presumes it's the 25-year-old's final moments.
What is seen depicted in that video is a crime. It's the crime of murder.
His mother, Wanda Cooper, can't bring herself to watch.
I don't think that I'll ever reach the mental capacity to ever watch the video. You know, I saw my son come in the world, and seeing him leave the world is not something that I want to see ever.
The video shows a car following Ahmaud while he's jogging down a street. You can see a pickup truck just ahead stopped in the middle of the road. And then Ahmaud and a man struggling just before he was shot at least 3 times with a shotgun. Police say 2 of the men involved in the incident are Greg and Travis McMichael, a former Glynn County police officer turned DA investigator, and his son. They say Ahmaud looked like a burglary suspect and they were making a citizen's arrest.
These men were vigilantes. They were a posse, and they were performing a lynching in the middle of the day. Some obscure, indistinct crime in the past in the community does not empower the entire community to hunt down black men.
The second hits really close to home because it happened right here in Louisville, Kentucky. And to this day, justice has still yet to be served in the murder of Breonna Taylor.
Breonna loved life, and she loved to help people, and she loved a family. She didn't deserve what they did to her.
Tamika Palmer is Breonna Taylor's mother. The 26-year-old was an EMT working in emergency rooms at 2 hospitals and helping respond to the coronavirus outbreak.
I was more concerned with her washing her hands than dying at home.
But just after midnight on March 13th, police shot Taylor at least 8 times, killing her in the apartment she shared with her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker.
Officers knocked on the door several times and announced their presence as police who were there with a search warrant. The officers forced entry into the exterior door and were immediately met by gunfire.
Louisville Metro Police say the officers were part of a narcotics investigation and opened fire after Walker shot first. They're now on administrative reassignment pending the results of an internal investigation. The lawsuit against the officers claims the suspect they were searching for was already in custody. Taylor's family alleges the officers wearing plain clothes did not identify themselves and that Walker, a registered gun owner, was shooting at men he believed were breaking in. Walker is now charged with first-degree assault and attempted murder of a police officer.
They thought they were being burglarized. Does the Second Amendment not apply to African Americans?
Attorney Ben Crump joined Breonna Taylor's case this week. He is also representing the family of Ahmaud Arbery, who was shot dead in February while on a run in his Georgia neighborhood.
This was a completely unnecessary and justifiable killing of an innocent woman.
The third and the most high profile saw a man murdered live. 8 minutes and 46 seconds. The victim, George Floyd, served as a racial tipping point that set everybody off.
The growing outrage in Minneapolis, protesters clashing with officers in the streets over the death of a black man in police custody.
Nationwide, from Chicago to New York to Denver, there is mounting outrage over the death of 46-year-old George Floyd.
What's his name? George Floyd! What's his name? George Floyd! What's his name?
I'm never going to get my brother back. We need justice. We need justice. Yeah. Those 4 officers, they executed my brother in broad daylight.
Our young generation is clearly lost, man. Clearly lost, man. Like, I don't even know what to say no more, man. Like, you youngsters just going around, just busting guns in crowds, kids getting killed, you know, and it's clearly the generation after us, man, that's so lost, man. One day it's going to be you and God. You going up or you going down. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be it.
What we saw was a lynching. That's what a lynching is. We saw a white man deprive a black man of his life in public, with the entire community staring and horror struck. Now the world witnessed a lynching.
It took a man getting murdered live on television for America to come out of its racial amnesia to a point. We saw a lot of white allyship, and we saw a lot of symbolism all over social media, in protests, and even the renaming of the streets in front of the Trump Hotel in New York and the stretch of road in front of the White House.
In a color so bright it can't be missed, the mayor of Washington, D.C. ordered the streets be painted to send a message that Black Lives Matter. The words stretching well beyond a full city block on a street that leads to the front door of the White House.
We want to call attention today to making sure our nation is more fair and more just.
Along with those bold words, this protest gathering point also got a new name.
We also saw a good percentage of the country that rather not disturb the racist status quo.
I don't believe there's systemic racism in the U.S. I'm not going to go into a long riff on it.
At all in the U.S.?
I do not.
You don't think there's any systemic racism against African Americans in the United States?
I will say it again. I do not.
I think there's racism in the United States still, but I don't think that the law enforcement system is systemically racist.
I do not think that we have a systemic racism problem with law enforcement officers across this country.
Do you think systemic racism is a problem in law enforcement agencies in the United States?
Let's say this. I grew up at a time when there was real systemic racism.
And so for Black America, when it comes to the safety of our bodies, same as it ever was.
When you say Black Lives Matter, that's inherently racist.
Well, I think their
Black
argument
Lives Matter, white lives matter. Asian lives matter, Hispanic lives matter. That's anti-American and it's racist. Of course black lives matter, and they matter greatly. But when you focus in on 1% of less than 1% of the murder that's going on in America, and you make it a national thing, and all of you in the media make it much bigger than the black kid who's getting killed in Chicago every 14 hours, you create a disproportion. The police understand it, and it puts a target on their back.
If 2020 also showed us anything, it's just how stupid a good portion of this country is. Coming up, the cult that is Donald Trump and the rise of the Karen, as our look back at 2020 continues right after this. If you're an advertiser, one of the most important things about getting your message out is actually standing out from the rest of the crowd. If you're listening to this program right now, this is where you'd hear your commercial. As an exclusive sponsor of Gunshots Straight from the Hip, your commercial is professionally produced and gets a longer shelf life based on your needs. Gunshots Straight from the Hip is a unique and compelling program unlike anything else in the marketplace. Episodes are available for download on iTunes, TuneIn, and MarkGunMedia.com. And depending on how you tailor your message, the potential for new and repeat customers is that much greater. Best of all, it's extremely cost-effective. If you'd like more information on how you can be a sponsor of this broadcast, call Mark Gun Media Inc. at 502-407-0283. That's 502-407-0283. Or log on to markgunmedia.com. For downloads of this and past episodes and information about all the multimedia services we offer, log on to our website at www.markgunmedia.com. That's markgunmedia.com. Welcome back to Gunshot Straight from the Hip. I'm Mark Gunn. We are taking a look at the year that was 2020 in the last podcast of this year. I think that we can all agree that 2020 is probably one of the worst years that we've all ever experienced. Everything from a corrupt Congress, continued racial strife, a poorly handled pandemic, and the continued exposure at just how stupid a good portion of this country actually is. Case in point, Donald Trump supporters. These are the knuckle-dragging mouth breathers that actually bought into the con man as president. And despite all the evidence of wrongdoing and incompetence, their unshakable faith in this idiot has the rest of the country and the world scratching their heads. Lots of late-night TV shows have had fun at their expense. One man in particular had his finger on the pulse of Trump supporters and was able to find out over the last year what makes them tick. That man is Jordan Klepper.
Barack Obama had a big part of 9/11.
Which part?
Not being around, always on vacation, never in the office.
Why do you think Barack Obama wasn't in the Oval Office on 9/11?
That I don't know. We'd like to get to the bottom of that.
We don't even know if he's a citizen.
Yeah, if you don't look at the birth certificate, there's almost no evidence there.
Exactly.
So there's nothing Barack Obama could do to prove that he was born here?
If there was maybe witnesses that were attendants at his birth.
Like his mother? Do you listen to his mother?
No. She has motivation to lie.
So you don't trust Donald Trump's birth certificate either?
Yeah, because he's been here forever.
Well, how do you know? But what's your proof?
Well, his parents and.
But they're biased. I'm talking about like people who could be in the room.
Why would they be biased?
Well, like I'm just using your logic against you.
Okay.
Outside of having no proof, what proof do you have?
I don't have any.
You don't have any proof?
My opinion.
Your opinion. And what's your source?
Just Facebook or Twitter. I mean, everything. And
So you'll look at like facts and bull. You'll put it all together.
Exactly.
Obama is a Muslim. He's a terrorist. Nobody will ever tell me different. Do I have proof? No. Do I have articles? No.
But your mind is made up without any information.
My mind is made up.
I don't think the media really portrays all the African Americans that support Donald Trump as much as they do.
So what should we be portraying? Where are these African Americans? When you literally look out across the 400, 500 people here, we don't see any. They'll wave. Wave, white people! Yeah. It's like a Dave Matthews concert. Except Dave Matthews actually has African Americans in his band. Tell me when you see somebody who is not white.
Here, right here. Thank you, brother.
Donald Trump don't even know how much a loaf of bread or a dozen of eggs cost.
So you don't even support Donald Trump?
No.
Okay, so he didn't work. In other words, a classic Trump rally full of misogynistic T-shirts.
Trump that
Minorities getting kicked the out, and Trump supporters like this reacting to minority protesters.
we have named these guys the Black Cockroach Ninjas.
You're not even trying to hide the racism anymore.
What? You're at a Trump rally, bro.
I know, right? Fill in the blank for me. 2 men getting married is blank.
Disgusting.
Actually, the answer is legal in the United States.
Oh, it's legal, but I don't like it.
Do you think a gay couple should have the same rights as a...
No, I don't. I really don't. I don't think it's fair.
To the gay couple?
Well, no, but the regular couple, they work so hard, you know, and the gay couple, they want more.
When you say more, do you mean equal?
Yeah, they want equal in that.
And that's just too much.
Yeah.
No, that's the wrong answer. Sorry, hold on. One-word descriptor, Joe Biden. Can a woman be president?
The presidency is a man's job.
I have women are qualified to be president.
No. A female has more hormones. She could start a war in 10 seconds. If she has hot flashes, whatever, boom.
Haven't all wars been started by men?
Yes. Whenever I hear president, I think of man. It's a man's job. What sort of, I may be...
Close-minded.
No, yeah, well, no.
Misogynistic?
No.
You're voting against your own interests.
That's it. Thank you very much.
These extreme nations, they don't treat women with respect.
We treat women with respect here.
Yes, we do.
That's an American ideal.
Yeah.
Tell me about your shirt. Well, what's it say?
It says, Hillary, but not like Monica.
Hilarious. So we were talking about treating women with respect.
It's an American ideal that we treat women with respect.
We don't even see the irony in it. Is there anything Trump could say that could come on up that would make you not vote for him?
No. No matter what he says or does, I will vote for Donald Trump.
Well, if he said the N-word, would you still vote for him?
It wouldn't be right, but I would still vote for him.
What if he said everybody should go little pigs? Would you still vote for him then?
I would still vote for him.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, I had a dream, and in that dream, I was given this vision.
You had a screen printing dream? Your dream told you that Trump is going to win, and then Ivanka, and then Don Jr., and Eric. Tiffany is going to win in 2048, and then Barron. Great. Who's in Donald Trump's way going forward?
The only people that would be in his way are other Republicans trying to get in office.
Yeah, he's evolved this presidency into a dictatorship that we could all understand.
Exactly.
I've read the transcript for not verbatim, but I've read the transcript, meaning like I've watched everybody read it on the news. I haven't seen the transcript.
You know that's not what reading the transcript means. But you watch people read the transcript.
Right. I haven't personally read the transcript. Have you read the transcript? No.
I have. Spoiler alert. He asked a foreign country to interfere in our election. It's crazy, right?
Yeah. I don't have time for, reading all the, impeachment, all that, but...
How long have you been waiting out here for Donald Trump?
Since 8 o'clock.
Hours. A lot of free time.
Absolutely.
Read the transcript.
Read the transcript.
Yeah.
Did you read the transcript?
I don't have to. Everyone else has. I can read it if I need to, but...
Right, yeah. But it's important that everybody reads the transcript.
It is very important. Pay attention and think for yourself.
Yes. You have, but to be clear, you have not read the transcript.
I haven't, no.
Right. But it is just important.
Yeah. Don't be a sheep, think for yourself.
But again, just to be very clear, you have not read it.
I have not read it.
You just trusted somebody else to read it.
Yeah.
What were you saying about don't be a sheep?
Don't be a sheep. Think for yourself. Do your own research.
Do your own research. Yeah. Right.
Carolyn Bryant. You may not be familiar with that name, but she is the original Karen. I say that not in a joking manner because of the lie that Carolyn Bryant told, a 14-year-old Emmett Till was murdered. As long as this country's been in existence, there has been a history of white women using their whiteness as weapons against men of color. And in 2020, they were given a name, Karen.
Are you filming me?
Okay, Karen.
Hi, my name is Karen.
Hi, I'm Karen.
My name is Karen, or as my mother calls me, Karen. And yes, I have definitely seen the Karen meme. And I'm
Karen, but I'm
not
not
a Karen.
And while we took great delight in making fun of them, believe me, anything and everything they did was very insidious.
A white, entitled woman who is capable of causing harm to people around her, in particular people of color.
So they tried to walk right here and she blocked them.
Get ox
access
Yell at me some more.
the river.
Okay, Karen.
But long before the name Karen became a pejorative, the character type had long been recognized by another name. According to Georgia Tech professor Andre Brock, during the time of slavery, Black people used to refer to a white woman exerting undue power over them as a Miss Anne. Even after slavery, there was a general fear among the Black community that a white woman could easily make a false or exaggerated accusation and send a lynch mob after any particular Black man. Toward the end of the past decade, people were filming and posting more incidents with Karens. It was common for each woman perpetuating the incident to get her own alliterative nickname. For example, in 2018, there was Permit Patty, a woman who called the cops on an 8-year-old Black girl selling water without a permit. There was Barbecue Becky.
This lady right here wants to sit here and call the police on them for having a barbecue at the lake as if this is not normal.
It's nothing to do with their race.
It seems like a new Jim Crow going on because for some reason every time I see it, Black people are the ones targeted.
The most Karen-y Karen, however, is Amy Cooper, a New Yorker who called the cops and said a Black birdwatcher was threatening her life after he asked her to put her dog on a leash. That same day, George Floyd was killed by Minneapolis police officers. People began linking the racism of Karens like Amy Cooper to wider and more lethal instances of systemic racism and police brutality. In 2019, Oregon passed a bill to punish racist 911 callers, attempting to put a stop to people like the Central Park Karen. In July, a San Francisco supervisor introduced the Karen Act, which stands for Caution Against Racially Exploitative Non-Emergencies. Hopefully, with some reflection and change, this type of racist person can be a thing of the past. Let's all work together and kill Karen. I mean, not the person, the need for the meme. Kill the need for the meme. That, the Karen in quotes. You get it. You get it. I'll stop now.
As further proof of just how badly 2020 sucked, here's a list of some of the celebrities that we lost this year. Perhaps the one that had the biggest impact was Kobe Bryant. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Legendary actor Kirk Douglas. For my money, the one and only James Bond, Sean Connery. Country music legend Kenny Rogers. Professional wrestler and the father of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, soul man Rocky Johnson. Smiling down from Wakanda, Chadwick Boseman. Legendary comedy writer Carl Reiner. The architect of rock and roll, Little Richard. Legendary TV host Regis Philbin. Rock guitar god Eddie Van Halen. Actress and singer, most notable for her role in Good Times, Janae Dubois. And professional wrestlers Kamala and Shad Gaspard. As we get closer and closer to January 1st, a couple of things to look forward to. One, the fact that this year is gone, done. We've got a chance to start fresh with a clean slate. Two, January 20th cannot get here fast enough when we inaugurate Joseph Robinette Biden and Kamala Harris as the next president and vice president of the United States. And three, we have to spend the rest of 2021 getting rid of the stench of Donald Trump and his corrupt administration. And it's my fervent hope that those politicians that enabled him and his criminal organization will also be brought to justice. And may I never, ever hear from a Trump supporter ever again. That's our look back at 2020. Thank goodness it's almost gone. You've been listening to Gunshots Straight from the Hip. The views expressed are those of the host and guests and not reflective of any business entity or anyone associated with this broadcast. If you have any comments or want more information on how to be a sponsor, log on to our website at markgunmedia.com or call us at 502-407-0283. That's 502-407-0283. Thank you for listening.
Mark Gun Media. No hype, no hoopla, just damn good work.